Hello. All right. Let's see. What is this? Hey guys, how's it going? It is the day before Christmas Eve. Let's pull this up. I need this one. This is much better. Looking at your... There we go. All right. We have a lot of people popping in. All right. Hey, guys. How's it going? Is that good? You guys can hear me fine? Let's move this microphone back off a little bit. Move this just a little bit like so you can see me a little better. So, Peter's saying, hey, Phil, just got a gator case for Christmas. Are they any good? Do you know? Yeah, of course. You know, gator cases is like the big three are probably TKL, gator cases, and SKB. I've always had good luck with gator cases. I've had no issues. Alex saying he hates Christmas. You know, Alex, it has its good and bad things, right? It's not always the best. But, you know, you get through it. At least it reminds us we should talk to our loved ones. The says Jim saying you were late. I was improvising. Oh, I didn't see what you're doing. Yes, I was late. It's because this was going to be a tough one. I wanted to make sure I did something today, but says, hey Phil, there's about 100 people at the wrong place. Yeah, I think that's because it wouldn't let me encode that stream. So let's go ahead and fix them. But I think they're moving over now. We have Roger saying hi. Bubfro is saying hi. Hey, let's see. And somebody says I got... somebody's saying there's a lag. Can you talk about Chinese clones you've worked on? That's from David Wright. Yeah. I've worked on a lot of Chinese guitars. Not so much Strats, a couple, but some Ibanez's and Gibsons and stuff. And most of the time, they were as good as any other guitar in that price range. I mean, that's really the thing. They put a legitimate logo on there, but they're not any better than the guitars in that price range. But I haven't seen a whole lot of bad stuff. Captain Mike saying Ibanez Micro 5-string bass, Fender Bronco 40. What for guitar player? 40 watt for guitar player. I think, are you Captain Mike, are you saying you have that or you're looking at that? Those are really good. I had that Ibanez Micro 5-string bass for a while. I thought it was really cool. I actually retuned it E to C. It was really fun. And VBLC 100 said, just got my Gibson set up, but action too low. I think I'm getting fret buzz. Okay, that happens. You just got to raise the action a little bit. Either relieve that truss rod just a hair or raise that bridge just a little bit. You just got to figure out where the action's having the problem. Is it above or below the 5th fret? Mark Love says, Phil, what happened to buy best $300 guitar at Sam Ash? So Mark, we didn't discuss where we were going to have it at. Me, Ralph, and Joe said we'd do the 300 guitar challenge. The problem was all three of us missed the fact that the holidays are here. So that's what it is. It's just an overwhelming time to get anything like that done. It has definitely happened. We're definitely doing the challenge. We're going to have a blast doing it. It'll be very soon. It'll be for the NAMM show. It's just, we got to get past the holidays. That's why today's kind of a weird thing. I had to get, I have a lot of stuff going on like everybody else. Phil, thoughts on Electro Harmonix Big Muff? Looking to beef up my Strat sound. Interesting you say that. I just got one. So I just got the Big Buff Nano. And if the question is, I don't know if it's much different. I didn't A/B it against the regular Big Muff, but I like the size. It's a great fuzz pedal. I decided I need to have one. It's like $70, $75, right? It's a great pedal for that price, so I decided I need to have one. Let's see. Next was question from Tim is, where are Kona guitars made? I don't know where Kona guitars are made. I'm not really familiar with the brand. And if I'm missing questions, guys, just bear with me. I'll try and find them or repost the question. Don't put, you didn't read my question, because I can't see it anymore. So I try to get to them. Hey, Phil, what do you think about high-end Ibanez's versus high-end American guitars like Gibson and PRS? I think that Gibson and PRS and Strats and stuff are iconic, and they're great, and they have these signature sounds. But we all know Ibanez guitars are, quality-wise, are on par, no problem at all. So Tim's saying, where is my Kona guitar? Oh, yeah, we already said that. Let's go to the next one. What's up from Los Angeles? Hello, Los Angeles. I'm originally from Downey, which is by Los Angeles. What Mesa Boogies do I own? Jim Cabin wants to know. I have the same two I started with forever. It's the Rectiverb 25, and I have the Mark V 25. And then I have a bunch of Mesa cabinets, and I have no plans to get rid of those or change those amps. The Mark V Mini is probably the amp I use the most for late night practice and playing. It just gets a lot of good tones, and I like it. It's metal, it does blues, it does clean. Loner Caveman says, Sam Ash guitars on the wall, P90. Yep, that's the Sam Ash guitar. I just converted it to cream. I eventually would change the knobs and the switch tip. Just wanted to go with the 60s look versus the 50s look. And yes, Daniel, I am still live. That is correct. I'm alive, and I am currently live. And there's 145 of you guys watching, which is awesome for holidays. And I really appreciate you guys jumping on and giving me questions and talking to me. It says, do you know anything about Guitar Fetish guitars? Okay. Their ads are everywhere, and they say they use the best parts. Earl Slick owns one. Earl Slick ones look cool. Guitar Fetish makes parts. I have put Guitar Fetish parts. As a repair guy, I have had hundreds of people bring me guitars and ask me to put in their pickups and parts and stuff, and I've had little to no issues with them. As import parts go, I find them the least problematic, because at least you have really what Guitar Fetish, what I see you're buying when you buy Guitar Fetish, is you really, because they sell the same part over and over again. If you have a problem, you can go to them. My problem with import parts is a lot of companies sell, like, they'll have 10 on eBay and they sell through, and then they go to the next part. And when you have a problem, sometimes it's hard to get service. So no, I have not had Guitar Fetish problems myself with anything. I can't tell you like, oh, they're as good as anything else, but I've not had problems. So if that's the only thing I can tell you out of that. It says, do I use amp sims? I do not. Play along tracks, I don't use amp sims. I probably should. I have, a couple Macs and stuff. I probably should get into that stuff. I just haven't yet. Is there a guest today? Raymond, there's not a guest today. You know what it is? It's because I knew it was going to be problematic for the holidays, right? We know that Christmas Eve is tomorrow. A lot of people with families, a lot of stuff going on. Mostly what I was hoping was this QA would be just QA. You guys just ask questions and I'll answer them, and we'll just have fun. And then we'll go back to normal. We have some really cool people coming on in the next couple months, and we'll keep this going. What do you think about Recording King acoustics? Stan, Recording King acoustics are amazing. They are amazing. A lot of guys attribute them as being as good as Martins in a lot of ways, and I'm not going to say that they are better or as good, but I will say Recording King makes a fantastic guitar. I have worked on many, and I think they're good. Jack wants to know my thoughts on Bujera. Jack, I don't really mess with Bujera. I don't have anything against it. I just never owned any of it. And, it's affordable product, and, I have a lot of friends who have it, but I always hear that it breaks. And so that's my issue, is why I don't buy it. I'm just always concerned about that. Phil, what's your thoughts on the new 2017 Gibson SG-T standard? Have you played one? Nope. I plan to check out all the Gibson 2017 at the NAMM show. So, I'll give everybody my thoughts then. That way I can touch it and look at it. Mark V is awesome. I have a Rectiverb 50. Will a Z brake work with mine? Yeah, yes. Yes. You're like a power brake. Yes. I have a Rectiverb 50 at the shop. It's really nice. It's big and awesome. Hi, Phil. Are Japan-made guitars better than guitars made in Indonesia? Alex, that is the problem we're all having now. We all know Japanese guitars are great. American guitars are great. But that's the problem. These new inexpensive guitars are very good. And I will say this, and this is just a personal thing. When it comes to Indonesian and Chinese guitars, where they're not as good as other guitars are usually how they're spec'd. In other words, they're not as good because they don't put the same amount of great parts in them. Not yet, because they're trying to hit a price point. So quality-wise, I think the machines are making them well. Let's see. Somebody said they had a Slick brand guitar. That's cool, right? How many guitars are too many? Merry Christmas. Well, Dwayne, it's the what's the perfect number of guitars? One more. I don't know how many guitars are too many. You know, I meet guys all the time and gals, and it's everybody has a weird number, right? Somebody's like, oh, I only have 50, or I have 5, or somebody's like, I have 2. You know, I'll be honest with you. The people I envy the most is I've come across them many times in my travels where I meet somebody who has one guitar, and it's always like this guitar that they just had forever, and it's the guitar they have. And I always go, you know, I wish I had a guitar I love that much that I just play that. Phil, you have so many fans. Recruit Evelyn Wood. LOL. I don't know who that is. So I need to figure out who that is. What do you think of Strandberg's or other headless guitars? That's BS324. BS324. The only thing I know about Strandberg's is I have a teacher that has an 8-string Strandberg and a student that goes to him that has an 8-string Strandberg. Very cool, very light, very great guitars. And I think I keep thinking about getting a 7-string Strandberg because they're really cool. They're just expensive, and I don't know if I'd use them, but I do think about them all the time. That neck is really interesting. It feels like it'd be weird, but instead it feels comfortable. Let's see. Ed wants to know, tell me about the Les Paul Epiphone Custom Pro. I used to own one. They're great guitars. I was thinking about getting rid of my Les Paul and getting another Epiphone, and I'm going to do something else instead. Would you consider having Rob Chapman as a guest? Roger Harris, I'm pretty sure Rob Chapman's too busy to come on my channel, but of course, if he would even come on, of course I'd have him on. I'd like to ask him questions just like you guys as well. In fact, if Rob Chapman came on, the only problem is I'd probably ask him more questions, so many questions you guys wouldn't get time in, because, you know, he's been doing this for a long time, right? He's really one of the original gear review guys, so it'd be interesting to see what his thoughts on a lot of stuff and how it's changed. And how did the Max Les Pauls compare to the others in your arsenal? Wago? Is it, right? Wago? Great question, Wago. How did they compare? They make me want to buy some Lindy Fralins. And that video was fun because I don't think anybody was... If you watch that video again, if you really listen to what I say, the only thing I say is I like the pickups. Everything else I was just giving you guys the facts of what the guitars were about. But me, I thought those Lindy Fralins, that one had Lindy Fralins and the other one had Wiz pickups. The Wiz pickups I think sounded a little better. They were $550 a set though. The Lindys are like $150 to $200 each, so a little less. Very good. In fact, not only did I compare them against my Les Pauls, I took them to a friend and I had him compare his Les Pauls, and same thing. We definitely decided the magic was those Lindys sounded great. So, highly recommend. If you're looking for a great pickup, I would consider those Lindys. What echo pedals do I like? Well, Juke Joint, I have 2. I have the Wampler Echo Tape Echo, and I like it, but I also have the Echo Puss, and I really like that pedal. And out of the Echoes, I still like that pedal a lot. I have not AB'd those 2. Maybe that'd be a fun video to do, right? Let's see. Are Epiphone guitars, this is from Jerry, are Epiphone guitars the great value people say they are? Well, Jerry, I mean, they're, 25% the price of a Gibson. So, yeah, I mean, if you want a Les Paul, they're a Les Paul for anywhere between $300 to $700, depending on the model. They're great guitars. But they're, like I always tell everybody, kind of understand something when it comes to economy-based guitars. And guitars, let's say economy guitars are going to be under $500. Under $500, I'm not saying they're inexpensive. I'm just saying they're not high-end at that price, for pricing. Those guitars, you're going to get some that slip through that are not so great, and you're going to get some that are great. You just got to put your hands on them. But I have played many of amazing Epiphones in my time. Somebody wants to know if I'm in a band. Nope, no time for a band. I'm a dad. I run the shop. I do the YouTube thing. I have another company I work with. I do a lot of stuff. I definitely don't have free time. My free time has to go to my family, as you can imagine. Have you ever compared the full-size dual rectifier with the Rectiverb 25? Similar, different? Do you lose anything going smaller? Will, that's a great question. I actually have a rectifier 50-watt head at the shop. I have A-B'd it against the 25. It was dramatically better. The distortion was better. The clean was better. It's better than the 25. But the 25 is small, right? So, yeah. And interesting enough, the rectifier 50-watt used is like $700. And that's basically what the rectifier 25 is, give or take. So, yeah, but I just don't need the extra 50 watts and I don't want the size. But no, I thought it was better. Like if I was going for the quality of it, but I picked mine for size. And once you turn down quiet, a lot of those things I said about the 50 watt don't really pertain anymore. That's what happens with all amps. When you turn down to where you're really quiet, some of the things that are great about amps go away. Phil, I just got a 2017 PRS SE Custom 24. The new pickups are incredible. It's worth looking at the new models this year. Yes, I plan to. So I will be doing a lot with Paul Reed Smith at the NAMM show. There is a special press conference with John Mayer at the NAMM show to announce a new product with Paul Reed Smith, and I will be there for that. And they'll also be releasing the amp that we talked about last year at the NAMM show that I said PRS is going to be announcing. I got confirmation that not only that they're going to do it, it is for sure. And so I'll be there for that. I plan to do a lot of stuff with PRS. And they asked me if I would be interested in talking to Paul at the show and interviewing him. And I said, absolutely, let's do that. So we'll be doing that. And then I'm going to try to get him on the show and let you guys ask him questions as well. So that's my plan. Greenbacks versus creambacks. Jack, I prefer creambacks, but I don't actually currently own any. I have greenbacks in one of the amps over here. But I think my ear likes the creambacks. I think they seem a little less fizzy and smoother to me. But both are good, but I think I prefer creambacks. Hey, Phil, you think the prices of Chinese-made musical instruments will go up after Trump takes office? Not to be political. We're never going to be political on a guitar show. But we could talk about the unpart of Trump, which is, do we think Chinese-made instruments will go up because Korean instruments went up and Japanese before them, and that's just how the pecking order will go. Whether the president has an effect on that is possible, but I mean, it's going to happen regardless of who's president. Prices go up. As the laborers get more skilled, as economies change, the prices go up. We see that already. We see companies moving from China to Indonesia to Vietnam for those same reasons. So that's how it works. They left Korea. I can't say they left Japan to Korea, but they really did leave Korea to China and China to Indonesia. And actually, a lot of it was Korea to Indonesia. So, okay, next one. Do you think the non-master built Fender Custom Shop Relic pieces are worth the $4,000 and $5,000 they are fetching? It's tough. I'm your Uncle Huckleberry, because my personal thing. Those road-worn guitars are really good. I like them. In fact, if the road-worn guitars weren't the 7 1/4 radius, I'd own one. If they were a 9 1/2 radius with those jumbo frets, I'd dig them. I think they're good guitars if you're into relic guitars. My issue is I like relic guitars. I like the cool idea of it, right? I tell people all the time, to me, it's a finish. Just like that's a finish, that green guitar, this guitar, they're all just finishes. Do you want something pretty or do you want something kind of beat up? I don't look at it whether or not it's real or not real. I look at it as, a look. What look are you going for? But to be honest with you, my only issue is I don't like to pay a lot of money for a beat up look because I don't want to do that. So, yes. But my other problem too with that is sometimes $4,000 or $5,000, you start getting in your head going, okay, well, can I buy a $1,000 Fender guitar and then pay a guy that knows how to do it? There's guys at Relic Guitars. They can pay them a Relic guitar, or you could do it. You just beat it up. Let's see. What else? How strong is the effects pedal industry? So many pedals companies and a ton of used pedals being sold. How does it all that affect the industry? Okay. Oh, Mike. Hey, Mike, what's up? Mike Standard. He's got a great channel. You should check out Mike Standard's channel. He's basically exploring the world of guitar equipment, and you get to watch him do it. So it's a great channel. Check out Mike Standard's channel. The effects industry is easy, right, Mike? Because we know what happens. There's a joke in the industry, and it's guitars are serial killers because killing is not enough, right? So if we were all buying 5 pedals and then selling the pedals we weren't using, I would say the industry is in jeopardy. But since the majority of us own dozens of pedals, right? I mean, I know I'm a little excessive because I collect pedals, but even guys and girls that don't collect pedals have 10. You know, right? And in fact, I argue, even if you say you don't have that many pedals, if you use like 3 or 4, I bet you have 1 or 2 just sitting somewhere in the house. And if that's true, think about that. You're absorbing that market. So I think that's what it is. What I think is going to happen is I think the effects industry is not shrinking, but it's not growing. And so you'll see some of the pains that come with that. But good stuff will always last. At least we hope so, right? Eric Jason Brock said I should be packing for my flight in the morning instead of watching this instead. Well, Eric, I hope you don't get in trouble at the airport because you're not ready for it, because they're not very forgiving there. Let's see. It says, hey, those Mark V's are really sweet sounding. Little studio amp. Yes, I agree, Adam. They are amazing. So let's go ahead and let's go to some questions I'm missing. Let's go. Here we go. Do you think... Oh, we already did that. Let's scroll a little bit. And like I said, if I miss anyone, just repost it. I really do apologize. I don't want to miss anybody. But, like I said, there is 214 of you guys watching and asking questions. So it gets a little fast for me sometimes. Okay, so let's scroll down. It got a little lost. All right, we're back on track. Here we go. It says, Adam wants to know, do you have a top 3 favorite pedals? I do. In fact, so what happened last year, I did the top 10 pieces of gear that I had for the year. I plan to do that video this year. I'll be doing that soon, and I'll be talking about those. A lot of you guys were asking about do the worst stuff of 2016, and I just don't want to do that. And I was like, man, and it's not because I'm afraid to say bad things. That's not even close to where I'm at. I just don't know if I really hate things or have a problem with things. But I came up with that idea, so we will be doing the top 10 disappointments of 2016. So it's not necessarily the stuff is bad, just it didn't measure up to the hopes I had. So we'll talk about that. So I'll answer both those. Those will be easy in those videos. So VBLC 100 said, I have 6 pedals, time to go shopping. Yes. Yeah. Right? Pedal acquisition syndrome. Yes. Pass. I keep all my pedals. I have 100 of them that I've been collecting since the 80s. Yeah, right? My thing with pedals is they never go down in value, right? I mean, they just don't. If you buy a pedal, even new, if you wait, it eventually levels out. And I know that's not exact, but let's give me credit. 80% of the time, if you wait it out. So pedals, I find sometimes are not a horrible investment if you sit on them. What's your thoughts on Roland Blues Cube and Orange Crush Pro? Orange Crush Pro is cool. The Roland Blues Cube, the big one, the 60 watt, is great. The smaller one, it's funny. I didn't know anything about it, but I guess Chapman did a video where he compared it against the Blues Junior, and it blew the Blues Junior away. At the shop, we couldn't get it to sound as good as the Blues Junior. So I don't know what we were doing wrong. And I mean, a lot of us, like a dozen guys, tried it differently and stuff. But it's a good amp. Just, I don't know if it's a great amp, but it's a good amp. For a solid state, it's a good amp. Let's see. It says, Phil, future plans to review of Reverend and Duesenberg guitars, Line 6 Helix. And that's Eric Jason Brock. Yes, I will be checking out Reverend at the NAMM show. Duesenberg, I had no plans to check them out. I think I've said this before. I have this cool Gretsch here because that's kind of like fake Duesenberg. They're great guitars, but they're expensive, and I don't play enough hollow body to justify them. But maybe I'll get them. And it says, Paul wants to know, is your shop open Xmas Eve day? Yep, they were. That's where I was today. We decided last minute. I decided to go in there and work, and we did some stuff. And in your opinion, are the RG450 DXB worth placing with the new Jim? Wait, in your opinion, is an RG450 DXB worth replacing with the Jim Jr.? If you want the Jim Jr. Vic, you do it. They're not different quality guitars. I think they're on par with each other, right? So I don't know if you would be getting a better guitar going to the gym, but if you want the gym, I have a gym. It's cool. I don't know if the Gym Junior is a different neck profile. That's the problem. The gyms have a neck profile, but the Gym Juniors might just use the same neck profile as other guitars. Yeah, somebody was saying, I know Boss and Electro Harmonix never make bad pedals. Yeah, I mean, right? I mean, they make pedals that maybe you don't need or use, but they're not bad. How big is the cigar box industry changing the classic industry? How big is this? I don't know. I know I have a friend, William Wiggins, who makes cigar box pickups, and he seems pretty busy doing it. He's become a friend over the years, which is nice. Thoughts on the new diesel pedal? I swear I haven't even looked at the video yet. I saw Chapman and did the video, and I haven't checked it out. I didn't even know Diesel did a pedal. So, and to be honest, I'm kind of afraid because I think I'm going to buy it, right? Because I have a thing for pedals that sound like amps because I like to see if, hey, if I can get a pedal that sounds like an amp. I can't afford a diesel amp, but maybe I can afford a diesel pedal. And somebody says, Music Go By, good job. Build a guitar for under $500. It's tough. I mean, you can do it with import parts. Maybe, yeah, you could do it from scratch, electric guitar. Do you have your new American Professional Strat? What do you think of the new fret size in relation over the fretting notes and bending them versus the medium jumbo file? I do have my Strat. My American Professional's over there. I have not bought it. I have it on loan right now. It's a green one with dual humbuckers. I like the new neck. I like the new guitars. Somebody asked me, I didn't get a chance, but somebody asked me earlier if I thought that getting the standard at a good value versus the professional was a good idea. Absolutely. They're only a little different, right? It's one of those things. They just made the American standard a little nicer. And so if you're already looking at getting a guitar in the future or next year, you're just going to get a little nicer guitar. And when I say nicer, I just mean they, a little nicer. They put a bone nut on it. They did some stuff, but I could own either one and I wouldn't be missing a thing. So how's that? But the new frets are nice, but I don't dislike the old frets, so I'm fine. Next, have you tried the new Old Blood Endeavor's headphone amp? I haven't. And it says it's great. Let them use my pedals with let's use the pedals without bothering the wife. I haven't tried it. I don't use headphones. Any suggestions for replacement P90 for my Gibson LP Junior? Lindy Fralins are amazing. All right. If you got the money, Lindy Fralins. If not, you got to go Seymour Duncan. Somebody wants to know, what about the Metal Zone? Yes. I don't know what I missed there, but Metal Zone is definitely a pedal that does metal. I like a lot of other pedals over the Metal Zone, me personally. Opinion on the Gym 77P since it comes from Indonesia factories and it's $15.99. That's Valhalla ready. Valhalla ready. I'm not ready to pay $1,600 for an Indonesian guitar, even though they're fantastic. So, I don't know. I wish they were $1,000. It seems like a weird comfort zone for me. But, so the Gym 77Ps, I played them. They were great. I didn't have any issues. I liked them. I've set up some for a customer, and he wasn't happy with the action and stuff. And he ended up having to take it back to the store. He got it too and stuff. But I haven't personally had any problems with them. Somebody wants to know, Indec wants to know if it's possible to fix a humbucker winding wire. Yes, you can rewind a humbucker. That's a short answer to the problem, but yes, there are people who will rewind your humbucker pickups. So it totally can be done. Next, Phil 88 MP1 preamp. Thoughts? Well, let's see. Nuno Bittencourt used one. Everybody in the 80s used one. And if you want that old 80s kind of sound, it has it. And they're going up in value, but they're not crazy yet, right? I haven't seen anything where they've been nuts, right? Priced. They're still realistic. Until they get crazy priced, I say if you want one, get one. What brands are you most looking forward to at the NAMM? Okay, Roger Harris, that's a good one. Well, let's see. We heard that the new Ibanez is going to reissue the gems at a crazy price, so I'm not really excited about them. I'm excited to see them, but not. I'm really excited about the new Eddie Van Halen LBX amp with a clean channel. So there's an LBX. It's going to be just like the one we have now, except for two changes. It's the green and the blue channel, so it's the clean and the middle channel, and it has two a stacked volume pot, so it has 2 volumes, one for each channel. So, and it's the same price as the current LBX. The LBX currently will stay in production and go down $100. I saw that. I thought that was cool. Senzera, which is what I talked about last year, the amp from Paul Reed Smith. It's like the Archon, but affordable. I'm excited about that. 20-watt combo will be cool. There's a 50-watt head, all under $800, something like that. Definitely in the more affordable range. Those will be cool. So I'm excited about those. There's some more Eddie Van Halen guitars and stuff I'm not really kind of super excited for, but hey, it's more cool Eddie Stripe guitars, right? They're going to keep making them. What else? What else is cool? I mean, there's a couple things like that. Fender, I didn't see a whole lot except for the professional stuff to push, right? Tube amps versus solid state amps. I'm a tube amp. Sorry, guitar freak. I love tube amps. I don't hate solid state amps. I have no hatred for them, but I will pick a tube amp every time just because I like the way it feels. James Wright wants to know, hi, are Fender Mexican Strat good fresh out of the box, or would you need a setup? What does the setup entail? Thanks. Thanks. Never had a setup and know any difference. And don't know any difference. Okay, yeah. Out of the box, usually the action's a little high. The bridge is cocked at an angle. They float. Some players like the bridge on a Fender Strat to float. I don't. Most players also like it flat. So to me, Mexican Strat, all you have to do is you take the back plate off, you screw those 2 screws back, loosen the strings, screw those back, get that bridge right on the body, and then you just want to set the saddles so that the action feels nice across the fretboard. And I'm working on that right now. I'm actually working on a setup video. It's been a long project, but when it'll be done, it'll be the first of next year. It's going to be a 30-minute video broken into 5-minute sections, and it will be how to set up a guitar in 5 little easy sections, right? In little 5-minute sections. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can just watch the part you need to watch, and it's more for reference, right? And it's how I set up a guitar. And there's lots of YouTubers that do setup videos, and I think they're great, but a lot of them, they're just so long, you have to watch this whole thing. I want to create seriously, just while you're doing it, just watch my quick little trick video, right? And we'll just do that. But they'll be in group together, so you can start to finish, or just what you need. MB215 said the diesel pedal is good, but it's $300. Yeah, 300 it hits that spot, right? 250 is where I start cringing on pedals, and at 3, I'm almost out of the game. So I'll have to watch the video and see how much I love it, because I'm going to have to really love it for $300. Like a lot, because $300, heck, I pay less than that for my Class 5. Okay, sorry. Hi. Oh, nope, got that one. Happy holidays from, it jumped. Let's get back to the other ones. Active pickups sound too compressed. I think that's a statement. Active pickups, they do have a sound. They're really good, though. They give great sustain. Steve wants to know, do you like me? Ignore my questions. I told you, Steve, if I missed your questions, you got to repost the question. Don't tell me I didn't see your question. It's too hard to scroll for your name. This is jumping for me. There's 255 people. So again, if I know it sucks, but if you repost it, I eventually will get to your question. I promise. Especially if you re-put your question and put, second time or third time, I'll definitely pay attention. Bought a new Fender Roadhouse Strat with the noiseless pickups. Great Mexican Strat. Oh yeah. That I think, so I'm going to do the 2016 video for the best stuff of the year, right? The new Deluxe and Roadhouse stuff from Fender. I think that stole the show for the year. I mean, the Elite Strats were great, but these guitars just were great for the price point. I think that's what happened, right? They had to do professional because they were killing the American standards. Those guitars were so good. Yeah, he's saying active pickups have less noise, but the tone sounds compressed. Yeah, I mean, right, because they have a preamp in there, right? And there's probably some kind of compression in that preamp. Who knows? And then Vic's saying, no, the NAMM Strat can float and stay in tune. Yeah, I didn't say contrary to that. I just said some people like it to float and some people don't. Yeah, you can make anything stay in tune. It's all about how well staying in tune is about friction. Everything becomes about friction. So we reduce the friction. So whether you lube the nut, cut the nut correctly, put roller nuts, whatever you do, you just gotta stop it from messing up. The Code 50 Marshall. Raptor want to know, what's my thoughts? I have never tried the Code amps by Marshall. I don't know why. It just didn't happen. I just didn't get to it this year. I really like the Katana stuff. I would really like, now because of the Katana, I liked it so much, I'd like to try the Marshall Code. Let's see. It says, 5th time, Microcube thoughts. I have a Microcube, and it's an amazing, Steve. You can't go wrong. I have the Black Star little mini fly. Fantastic for $60, and for the microcube, me personally like the older microcube, the one before the current one that's 150 that you can buy on eBay for 75 to 80 bucks. I like that one a little better. So, but either way, great amps. I have one. I have it in the other room. I love it. What's my favorite vintage distortion overdrive? And that's Chuck Dickens vintage distortion overdrive. I guess I don't. Right? What's like an old one? I don't know what vintage would be. I mean, like a tube screamer maybe, but I really use a tube screamer. I don't love a tube screamer. I just use it. It's like a tool. I don't really have a emotional connection to it. I just need to pedal do something. For me, I know it's going to sound weird. I like the Blues Driver by Boss, and I don't know why, but I consider that kind of an old pedal hanging around for a while. But there's so many pedals. I think pedals get better. That's actually what it is. I think they constantly get better. I think the guys that build pedals reverse engineer everybody's pedals and make them better. I think they're constantly better. Want to know about rumors about the 15-watt Tremonti Archon? Okay, so MB215, here's what I can tell you. There is a Tremonti amp. I didn't hear it was 15 watts, but I can tell you this. There is a Tremonti amp. It is coming out. It doesn't come out until March because of the John Mayer amps getting released in January. Because obviously you don't want to release two, I don't know officially. I'm not telling you what they told me. I'm just telling you what I think based on what I know. I wouldn't want to be Tremonti and releasing an amp with John Mayer. John Mayer is going to be a big deal. They're going to make a limited 100 amps. He's on tour with the Grateful Dead, right? It's just going to be, and so I'm a huge Tremonti fan. So I'm excited about that amp, but that's in March. And so, and what do you think of the Gibson 2017 Les Paul Tribute? Same thing. I haven't tried them, Estevan, but I will be trying them at the NAMM show, and we'll do videos, and I'll talk about that. Let's see. Are the Ibanez Prestige guitars as good? Oh, we already did. We? You asked that again, but I answered it. I thought the Ibanez Prestige guitars are great. What is the most? Oh, here's a good question. I like these kind of questions, right? Because they're kind of fun. We all. Jim, he says, what is the most expensive guitar you bought? Did you keep it? Jim, no. Every guitar I have ever bought over $3,000, I do not currently own. That is a lot of money. And I know, I'm not dumb. I can sell guitars and, I can sell these three guitars and buy a $3,000 guitar. It's not that I can't. It's just, I don't know. I get weirded out by it. So I think I tell everybody, I think everybody has a price comfort zone. So if your comfort zone is not $3,000, it's higher, good for you. And if your comfort zone is $300, good for you. I don't think this is a reflection of how much money you have to spend. I think this is a reflection of what you enjoy, right? So I meet guys all the time and I'll say, oh, I have 20 guitars. And they go, well, I have 80, but their average guitar is probably $200-$300. They still have more money invested in guitars than I do. So I don't go, well, yeah, but I have a $1,000 Strat and you have a $300 guitar. I go, I get it. That's how you value it, right? You want variety, right? And some guitar players are the opposite. They have like 3 crazy expensive guitars. So, if that's how they do it too, right? You can't go wrong. It's whatever inspires you. This is just to keep the world sane for you, right? I play guitar not because, it's a job. It's because it's what I want to do when I'm not doing a job. Okay, so it says, oh, why no one offers the lower price Strat with a fat 50s neck? Well, that's because when I did the video about the American Strats and the Mexican Strats, one thing I always want to convey to you about Fender. Fender puts a prime on the price on vintage. So does Gibson. The more close to it is being the way it was, the more you have to pay for it, no matter where it's made. But as far as I know, they make a Squier with a 50s neck. So you might want to check into that. So, and that guitar is pretty realistic, especially used. You could definitely fetch it for a couple $100. Did you try the pedal Power Stack by Boss? I did. That was banned in No Way Back. That's a really cool pedal that didn't get, doesn't get a lot of claim, a fame claim, but it's a great pedal. Yeah, they did that. Remember they did that and they did the combo one. The combo one was okay, but the Power Stack, I thought it was a great pedal. Definitely one of their better overdrives. Okay, let's see. Favorite Marshall amp. JMP, like a Plexi. I mean, just a 50-watt Plexi just sounds fantastic. If I could turn one up in the house, I would do it every day. Just it doesn't work. Let's see. It says, I don't know what the question was. CTF says, ways you're on 68. I don't know what that means. You're going to have to redo that one. Let's see. It says, somebody said no hamburger's worth $45. I agree with that. I don't know what you guys were talking about, but I do want to put my hat in there and say I don't want to pay $45 for a hamburger. Says, let's see. Next one. Thoughts on cities road. Okay. Rosewood regulations affecting manufacturing pricing on Rosewood guitars. 7th post. Yes, Rico, you even posted this, I think, before, right? Believe it or not, I've been trying to research this for you guys. There was a couple questions that said, hey, what do you think about the Rosewood? And there's our articles. I literally talked to the heads of some serious companies like Gretsch, and I talked to, Sammy Ash and all those guys, and they're saying that there's nothing hindering anything right now. So they see the same thing we're seeing, articles about it, but not really seeing any effects in the industry. So right now, no one seems freaked out about Rosewood. Fender isn't, Gretsch isn't, right? Everybody I've talked to, PRS, nobody seems really affected by it or freaked out that anything's coming. And Chuck wants to know, what do you think of the EVH Wolfgang? I have the Stripe one. I think the Wolfgang is a cool guitar. It's not my favorite guitar, but I mean, it's cool, right? It's a cool guitar. It's got a cool look. It's got a nice feel. Phil, fret buzz while fretting from the mid of the neck upwards towards the nut. Most likely have to shim the neck or neck adjustment. No. If you're above the 5th fret and it's buzzing, you need to relieve the truss rod. I'm doing a video right now about that too. Again, we'll have that soon. But right now you would want to relieve the truss rod. You would want to go counterclockwise, facing whichever way your truss rod is, just a quarter turn at a time until that buzz is relieved. What guitar would you buy for $1,000? A Strat. Yeah. Right? It's a good guitar. There's so many good guitars, though, for $1,000. Really, think about this. I always tell everybody, $1,000 is the magic number now, right? It's like the world is your oyster, right? I mean, I feel like if I had $1,000, if all these were gone and you gave me $1,000, I bet you if you gave me a week and a half to find it, I'd find whatever guitar I wanted, right? And actually, 12 gets even better because 12, you could probably find a custom 24. I don't know which way I'm pointing, that way or whatever, right? As long as you're not picky about colors and stuff, you can do stuff. But yeah. But me, I'd probably pick a Strat just because it's a basic guitar. Shaman Blue says he collects hamburgers. Yeah, you got to spray plastic on them. I paid $800 for a Chinese-made guitar. Yeah, well, we've all done that now. That's the thing, right? My Breedloves were $600 and they're made in China. So that's how it works. Scappy the Monkey 5 says, individual saddles or 3 brass saddles style for the bridge on the Telecaster. I don't care either way. I just like, on Tellies, I like either the blocks that I have on here or the brass saddles. I just don't like the bent saddles that they put on Strats on Tellies. That's not my thing. I think I hear the note thump out a little harder when it has more mass at the bridge. I don't know what that is. I mean, well, I know what it is. I know the math behind it, but that's basically what happens is when the way the string is anchored to the mass, when you hit it, it works a little differently, so the pickup picks it up a little differently. It's kind of cool. Let's see. What do you think of? Is it a good deal if I get an amp for $20? Paintball Fan 200. Well, if you need an amp and you have $20 and there's an amp for $20, yes, I think it's a good deal. But I mean, there's always a price for everybody. Think of this. No joke. I sold an amp this week for free, right? Somebody came to my store and said, is this amp says free? And I said, yes, a customer didn't want it anymore. And so we just put it in the row of amps and put free on it. And you were the first one to say anything. And they walked out with it because they thought we were kidding. I'm like, no, it's nobody, it didn't have any value to anybody. It worked, but so there's always something. Am I practicing a song now? Shaman Blues? I am. I am working on 2 songs right now. I'm working on a Alter Bridge song, and I'm working on a Joe Bonamassa song and the Joe Bonamassa stuff. In fact, I'm going to probably start taking some lessons on just the Joe Bonamassa stuff right now. I'm always trying to work on something. Okay, 7th repeat. Upgrading pickups, bridge and tuners versus getting a new guitar. And Insomniac Matt. Well, I can tell you what my wife tells me. She hates it when I buy stuff and shove money into it. So if I was to ask my wife tomorrow for a new guitar, I say, hey, can I buy a Strat, Fender Strat? She would be okay. But if I told her, I said, I want to shove $500 into a Strat, she gets upset because really it's not that it's a good idea or a bad idea. It's just, it's harder to recoup your money out of that. So Insomniac Matt, what I suggest is you got to really like, when you shove money into something, you better like what you're putting money into. So here's my advice for whatever it's worth. If you like or love what you have and you want to make it better, do it. If you don't like it and you think fixing it is going to make you like it, it's a bad decision, right? It's the saying, right? You can't polish a turd. That's the saying. So if you don't like what it is, don't think you can fix it. Just get rid of it and move on. But like I said, if you like it and you think it can make it better, maybe it's worth some time, put some money into it. What's my favorite all-time amp? Third time. My favorite all-time amp is probably the Hot Rod Deluxe or the George Benson version Hot Rod Deluxe. That's not my like ultimate holy grail amp. That's just like if you know, right? What amp do I like that I can always get a good sound out of? I always feel like I can grab a good tone out of the amp. It's not too bright. It's not too bassy. Sounds really good. My personal amp in my collection, like what amp would I keep? It's always a toss up between my Princeton or that Mark V Mini, because just for practicing at home, it sounds great. But so I really like the Princeton a lot. What do you think about hanging guitars by the neck for a long time? Ronald, that's Ronald's. Don't think there's any issues with it. I hear people talk about it, but you know, the truth is I've been doing it forever. I've never had an issue. I've never met anybody that's had an issue. Obviously, other than lacquer burns from the hangers, but there's ways around that. Stores do it all the time. It's not really a bad thing. I don't even think the guitar can tell. I don't think it works that way. I don't think the weight of the body does anything to the neck. Not that way. Let's see. Would your wife like a pretty speaker cabinet? No, Jim, she would not. So she probably care less about any of this stuff. Well, I'm very lucky. She doesn't care pretty much what I do when it comes to stuff, but she's not really interested in it. And for the most part, she works in this industry too, and she's around it all day. Let's see. It says, Daniel says, I hope to do more live videos. I'm going to do one every week. Like I said, rain or shine, we'll keep doing them. Do an hour every week. And like I said, we'll have guests and we'll do stuff like this. Thoughts on the orange Micro Dark versus the mini amp heads? The Micro Dark was cool. Mini amps, I like it better than the Piranha. I tried the Piranha. It was horrible. And I never say that. You guys know that. If I say something's bad, I must have really not liked it. That amp was like a box of bees. So Sneer wants to know, Phil, what's your thoughts on the Acacia guitars? All I know is I saw the Tone King review it. He seemed to like it. They look like a cool shop. Cool. I looked on their website, looked at their prices and stuff. It's really cool. Really cool. So, Chris wants to know, third post, have you tried any Nash guitars? Thoughts on them? I haven't, but they're great. I've done a setup on one and it was great. I mean, so I guess I tried it, but I really didn't. I just did the setup and I played a little bit. I didn't really spend a lot of time with it. No, Nash guitars are cool. And if you guys don't know what Nash guitars are, he's another one of these like high-end kind of Fender type guitars, right? There's a lot of those stuff. So really cool. Let's see. When I turn the truss rod left, which way does the neck go? Or I turn the rod right. Okay, Jack, it's easy. I don't care which way the truss rod starts. When you look at the truss rod, right, like this, when you look at it this way, right, it is clockwise will tighten the truss rod, right, which will pitch the neck backwards, or counterclockwise will loosen the truss rod. If you have a dual action truss rod, it's the same thing, except for if you go counterclockwise, eventually it gets loose and will continue to push it the other way. So do quarter turns. You can't break a truss rod, but you can strip it. So be careful. Phil X is cool. Phil X is awesome. I met him in Los Angeles. That guy can play, and he's on 10. Boss FRV 63. Your thoughts? Easy. I own the 63 pedal. I don't know where I put it. I like it better. I like the 63. I like it. I was going to buy the 63 Spring Reverb tank, from Fender. It was in my head. I'm buying it. Watched some guy on YouTube. He reviewed the both, and I said, I'm going to try the 63 pedal. Did. Loved it. It's great. I have it. I was going to show you, but I don't know where I put it. It might be in the other room in my other amp, but it's here. I love it. I bought it. Let's see. Do you have any recommendations for Mexican Strat upgrades? Looking at the Babkis, what do you think? I thought the Babkis stuff looked really, really cool. I think I watched the Crimson guitar guy. He got some Babkis stuff. Looked really high end and really good. So I don't know because I haven't actually, believe it or not, I don't think I've ever installed Babkis. I don't think anybody's ever brought anything to me. So really cool stuff though. Hector wants to know what's a really good Gibson neck pickup. Right now, I'm on those Lindy Fralins, man. That's what I recommend because those guitars sounded fantastic with those Lindys in them. What pickups are my Tellies? My Telly has, let's show you. My Telly has the BG 1400, which is the Billy Gibbons. It's a custom shop from Seymour Duncan. It's a stacked humbucker. And this is a custom-made Billy Gibbons BG 1400 neck. So what happens is this is 30K. They're high output. They're not high gain, high output. And then they're hooked up. So when I switch this, they go into single coil mode. So they make noise and they're thinner sounding. And when I go that, they're in humbucker mode and they're fuller sounding. And then other than that, everything else is standard on this guitar. And it looks baby blue, but this guitar looks like a bar of Irish Spring. So in the pitch, like I say, when you guys see it, it looks blue, but it's really green. Let's see. It says, Jason wants to know, I'm building my own pedal board, so do you recommend Velcroing or zip ties? That's up to you. I like zip ties because I don't like the glue of the Velcro and I don't like dog hair in it and stuff like that. But whichever is easiest, whatever road you go down, you're stuck to it. So you got to just make that decision. But I prefer zip ties. It's easy. Let's see. Counterclockwise. Cool. I know that had something to do with what I said earlier. Okay. I had to answer the front door. Oh. Hey, somebody just got a Sterling JP. Steve Cox just got a Sterling JP 100D. Thoughts? Oh, no. Did you get one? Or you had to answer for delivery and you're asking about one? The Sterling stuff. So if you guys remember, I had a really great 7-string Petrucci with that beautiful top. I got rid of that guitar because at the show this year, at the NAMM show, when I played the Sterling stuff, don't scream at me, but I liked it as much. I like the Sterling stuff as much as the American. It really made me want to get rid of the American one. So I'm going to get a Sterling one because I just can't tell the difference. When does it rain in Arizona? Today. This is like, it's just now. It's 90% chance. It never rains, but it's raining now. Let's see. What's your favorite guitar you own? My favorite guitar that I own is my Paul Reed Smith Mira and then my Copper Strat, which is this one right here. This is what I was playing earlier, this guitar. I just like those two guitars. The Strat has humbuckers in it and the Mira. They're both, and I beat them up. Both have tons of dings and dents in them. They're literally laying around the house. I just have it. Blues Trucker says, is it bad? Wait, it's too bad the Telly is green because I really like the blue. Yeah, it does. You know what, Blues? It looks great though. Jim Melsom wants to know, I'm saying his name wrong, but anyways, they want to know, is Jet City any good? I like Jet City. I haven't had any break on me or anything. I almost did the thing. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do the thing. You could buy a Jet City amp and then send it to Soldano and he would mod it for you, right? Or something like that. That was really cool. Next one was thoughts on the Clapton Strat or the signature guitars. Clapton Strat's cool. My favorite signature guitar from Fender by far is the Eric Johnson. It's a work of art. They play fantastic. Some of the best playing and sounding guitars that Fender makes. But all of them are pretty decent, but that one. Somebody said the PRS single coil cut was my biggest disappointment I ever purchased. Yeah, I can see that. I like the single cut. The neck's kind of chunky. What didn't you like, sound or the neck? Are you ever going to do a Copper Strat? Are you ever going to do the Copper Strats again? No, I'm not. Maybe Fender will. I think they should do that color. It's great, right? Okay, it says, third question, forgot to asking, what's the difference between P90 and a soap bar pickup? Well, P90 is a single coil. Soap bar pickup, I don't know why. Soap bar pickup is just a style of looks, right? It looks, sometimes they're in basses, and sometimes they're in 7-string guitars, right? So it's a totally different pickup. Just they kind of look the same. P90 is a single coil. Oh, so our Insomniac saying a soap bar is a P90. It's a cover over the pickup. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. A P90, it's just, soap bar is just a style of the way it looks. Somebody wants to know what the 57 Classics and 57 Classics Plus good pickups. Esteban, I like the 57 Classics. Haven't tried the Pluses, so I don't know. But I like the 57 Classics. They're a little dark sounding, but they sound great in a Les Paul. Yeah, and he's saying, yeah, it sounds like an actual Soldano. I thought so too. I actually played the Jet City against the Soldano once in the shop, and I was like, yeah, they sounded almost identical. Jet City, remember Ignator, and it was kind of game up, and Ignator's kind of up and down in the market. I thought Jet City was those three pop. Remember, it was Black Star, Ignator, and Jet City all kind of just came out of nowhere, those three companies. And I thought Jet City was the best of the three, but yet it seemed to win away the fastest. So, I don't know. Maybe it was because it was blue. I don't know. Or maybe they couldn't get distribution right. I'm not sure what the problem was. But your thoughts on the ESP custom shop guitars? Student has one. I just helped him restring it. It was very nice. I think his was like $1,600. His was not an ESP custom shop. I take that back. It was the E2. I've owned a couple ESP custom shop guitars. They're fantastic. They're like Jackson custom shop guitars. My thoughts are they're expensive and they're good. That's why they're expensive. And then, Phil, what's your thoughts on the Mesa Triple Crown? Haven't even tried it. I've seen the pictures. I've seen everybody. I saw the fluff video. Looks cool. Sounds good. It's 50 watts. I won't be looking at it for me personally because I don't need a 50-watt head. There's, like I said, I have access. If I wanted, I can get a Rectover 50 for $700. So I'd probably get that before I get that because it's cheaper and it's in good condition. But I don't need 50 watts. Gibson Les Paul double cut versus the PRS 24. I like the PRS Custom 24. But for no other reason, just because I have one and I kind of prefer it. But they're almost the same guitar, aren't they? Right? Realistically, different necks and stuff. Do I own any Jimi Hendrix guitars, signature guitars? Nope, I have not. I've set some up. I've sold some, so we set them up and they were cool. The new Jimi Hendrix reissue is a little weird to me because it's like not 100% like the reissue, but it's definitely a good guitar. Next. Okay, we're going to be calling it soon. We're at 57 minutes, so we'll give it let's say 6-7 more minutes. I have the Twisted Telly and Broadcaster, and I can't decide if I want Fralins. Martin, yeah, I had my Telly before this one had the Twisted Telly in the bridge, or in the neck, and the Broadcast in the bridge. I liked them a lot. My guess is if you put Fralins, it's not going to be much better, right? Because you're going from good to slightly better. You're not going from not great to better, right? Both those pickups are great. So it's tough. The only good news is if you get the Fralins, you can sell the Twisted Telly and the Broadcaster and recoup some of your money. So think about that. Have you ever played a Strandberg guitar? I think I answered that earlier. Yeah, I have because a teacher, one of my teachers has one. It's very cool. Phil's Boss DM Waza or Carbon Copy? Carbon Copy. I have the Carbon Copy Bright, like the Carbon Copy. The DM Waza is great pedal. It's cool. I can't tell you anything different what I have. I have the Carbon Copy, and I've tried both those. I had them. Both are great. I just went with the Carbon Copy. Not sure why. I couldn't remember exactly what the thought process was. I just picked it. 22nd time asking. That's a lot of time. Thoughts on Hughes and Kittner? Hughes and Kittner's good. I like I said, I've owned a couple in the past, and they're really cool. They look great. I think that's probably the problem. They look better than they sound. They sound good, but they look amazing. But they are good amps. Nomad is the best bass Mesa amp ever. I think I had a Nomad years and years ago. It was a good amp. Let's see. I played a Gretsch Pro Jet the other day and was very pleasantly surprised. Have you ever played one? Yes, I have. I just worked the Brian Setzer concert last week, so I was playing a lot of Gretches and messing with Gretches. And no, the Pro Jets are good. Gretsch is good. Right, Gretsch is good because, like I always say, if you like Gretsch, only Gretches are Gretches. So Weirdest shaped guitar I ever played. How about this, Insomniac? Weirdest shaped guitar I've ever owned. I had the Gary Kramer 7-string 32 fret guitar. If you Google that right now, just type Gary Kramer 7-string 32 fret guitar. Mine was yellow. I owned that guitar for years. That guitar was weird. I miss it though, but I'm not going to buy it again. Bert wants to know, do I have any details on the forthcoming Wiggins P90? No, I have no idea. You know what? All I know is what people have been telling me. He's doing them. So I haven't heard anything. So, but once he does it, I'm going to try to find out and get my hands on one. So Steve's saying, I had a chance to pick up a 1993 Fender Squier MAK made in Korea, and it's worth $200. Decent shape. That's a good deal. And it's a good guitar. Price match. What somebody says, price match means Phil won't make any money. No, that doesn't mean anything like that. The price match. This industry's rigged. Price match means nothing. Right? You can sell anything for anything. The whole thing is kind of rigged, right? That's why I always tell people, don't you find it silly when you walk into a giant guitar store and they have a guitar for a price, and then you go into mom and pop and they have the same price? Shouldn't they be starting at different prices if it wasn't, right? The trick is this. Big stores can get the prices down when they buy in volume, but they have bigger overhead. Small shops can't get the prices down, but they have less overhead. Eventually it works out to some degree. It's just a lot of small shops don't want to work for free. You can't hate that. None of us want to work for nothing, but it's not the end of the world. There's worse things in your life. Favorite beer. My favorite beer is Kilt Lifter and Pacifico. So the thoughts on the Fender affordable pedals. That's from Raptor. They're okay. That's, there's nothing, I got nothing bad to say, but there's nothing, I can't say, wow, great for the money. Fender keeps getting into pedals. Don't you notice that every couple years, Fender's got more pedals again? And, I don't think I own any. Like, you know what, the Yngwie pedal, right? Right? And it's not a bad pedal by any means, but it's just weird. Because there's so many pedals, it's not like they have to be making pedals as well. Let's see. Would you own a Waylon Jennings leather-covered Telecaster? No. No, Brian, I would not. So, not for any reason, just don't have a desire to have one. Strymon is overrated and overpriced. You know what, though? You know what, AZ? That's AZ DH85224. Here's the deal with that. Strymon is well loved, right? I don't own Strymon. I'm not a Strymon guy. I have so many close friends that love Strymon, and they love them. And you know what it is? It can't be overpriced if people love it. Yeah, you know what I mean? I know that sounds stupid, but you know where I'm going with this, right? They're willing to pay it because they love it. I play it and I think it sounds good. I don't have an attraction to it, but man, but I'm smart enough to recognize when people habitually buy it over and over again, they just like it. There's something that speaks to them. And that's really, like I said, what it comes down to. There's no wrong answers in this. It can't be. Phil, thoughts on the Sir Silent Single Coil Pickup Scratch Plate? I haven't tried it. I don't know what it is. Sir pickups are really good. Single Coil Pickup Scratch Plate. I'm going to check that out. I'll check that out after the live broadcast. Class A amps. What are they supposed to be? Wait, Joel wants to know, Class A amps, what are they supposed to be? The real decent tone? Class A amps basically are more intense. This is a really horrible way to say it, but they react really quickly, and they have a really you feel like when you're playing them, they're alive for us, right? There's just a lot going on. So, but they have some downfalls too, besides the fact they burn through tubes. But I own both. I have Class A's and Class AB amps, and I cannot tell you that I specifically like one over the other. I just, one amp I like and the other one. Have you ever tried the Laney Lionheart? No. You know what? Is it Ironheart? Laney Ironheart. That's the blue and tan one, right? I've been online looking at it a couple times, right? They're like $700. It's one of those amps. I think if I could get my ears on it and try it, I might actually purchase it, but just without anything on it, I haven't done it. Best sound improvement pedal, new. Jerry wants to know, best sound improvement, pedal or new pickups? Well, Jerry, pedals will do more extreme change, right? Because you can color the sound, right? That's really the argument out there, right? When everybody's like saying this doesn't matter and that doesn't matter. It all matters. It's just, I think it's like they go like 1 to 10, and we're gonna say 1 becomes like the amp. I'm not saying this is the order, but we're just gonna give a scenario: amp, and then speaker, and then then the guitar pickups, and then and I'll go down that. But pedals will definitely change sound dramatically quickly. So let's see. It says. Somebody says, don't hate because you can't afford it. Well, that's great advice, because you know what? I can't afford a lot of stuff. That's why I don't want to hate on anything, right? Right? Everybody at some point can't afford it. That's what you learn if you're ever in retail for any length of time. To everybody, I used to tell everybody, to everyone, to somebody, every guitar is expensive. It's just, and we've all been there. So whether you're there now or there later or there again, you've been there. Nice. Setzer does an awesome Xmas theme show. He does. It was a great show. And it was good to see my friends at Gretsch. Have you been in Rudy Pence's shop? I don't think so. I don't know who that is. I might have. I just don't know who it is. 32nd fret. Laugh out. Yeah, right? Yeah, 32 fret, 7 strings. Yeah, if you want to feel like you just don't know anything. Let's see. Okay, last. Let's do 3 last questions. Okay, one is easy. I have. So the question is, have you tried the Super V-Blade tremolo system? It's a great concept. Does it really work? I haven't tried it. I've never even heard of it. So maybe I have, but I haven't seen it. Sorry, Vince. Then somebody was like, music by Good Job says high watt amp. High watts are great. They're like kind of like a Marshall kind of thing. I've played a couple over the years. Never enough to purchase one. Nothing's ever like kind of grabbed me to purchase one, but not because it wasn't bad. Merry Christmas, Phil. No Christmas shenanigans this year, Roger Harris says. Yes, I have no one, except for I did Christmas shenanigans a little bit. I bought 2 new amps. Rectiverb 25 versus Rectiverb 25 head Mesa 112 cab. I can only tell you what I have. I have the head and the cabinet. I like it. So, right? But I mean, I could have the combo. I just picked the head and the cabinet. So, okay. And I said one more, but we'll do 2 more fun. And then we got to go. Have you tried... No, we already did that one. So it says... Okay, somebody's just telling me something. Merry Christmas. Okay, and it says... Okay, come on. What we got here? Try to pick a good one. Somebody said one of the Gretsch sales guys at the Brian Setzer concert played in Good Rats. Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, Jerry wants to know, is it me or is it the Friedman amps taking over the world? Man, they sound great. Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be, if you guys remember the 90s when Mesa Boogie came out, and then later it was Bogner, right? But, I think what the world changed is the fact that Friedman is... Mesa was expensive, and then Bogner was more expensive, and then Friedman is expensive. But Friedman's got these new affordable amps too. Not cheap, affordable in the idea that, hey, you know what, $3,000, $2,000, that's expensive. $1,000 is expensive. But to be honest with you, for boutique amps to be under sub $1,500, that's a big deal for a boutique amp. So, and the last one. Okay. So Patrick wants to know, are you familiar with the Floyd Rose rail tail as MIM Strat trim upgrade? Yeah, I've seen it. That's it. And then Israel wanted to know any thoughts on the Strymon Riverside. Like I said, I don't own any Strymons. Great stuff. My friends love them. I have 2 or 3 friends, and they're just hardcore Strymon fans. And their stuff sounds great. I just don't use it. How do I feel about the Fender Champion 100, Nirvana Punk? I used to love the Frontman 100 a lot, and the Champion 100 is basically like that. And for a solid state 212 amp, for a gig situation for playing, it's a great sounding amp. I mean, for solid state, right? I would put it in my if I had to say the top 5 solid state amps that I would consider if I had to play solid state, the Champion 100 are the Champion series. The Champion 40 and 100, because of my situation at home, the 40, but if I was playing gigs, the 100 would be my top 5. So it's reliable, it's good, it's priced accordingly, right? It's not crazy. So definitely cool. Okay. Joel wants to know, can anybody get into the NAMM or industry invite only? It's industry invite only. So that's why I did some giveaways for the NAMM tickets. I did. I might have some more tickets. That's what I'm working on right now. I did a video where I gave away some ones to you guys, like for shirts, people who bought shirts, and I did one for Patreon people too. And I'm trying to do all this stuff, and I'm trying to manage it out. So if you hear more about it, great. I'll let you guys know for sure. It'll be soon. I'm trying to figure it out. But yes, if you have to be invited to get in. Rudy Pensa was the man who made Knopfler's guitar. Oh, okay. With Mr. Sir. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I haven't tried any of his stuff, but love Mark Knopfler. So, and the last one, Alman wants to know, what do you think of the Fender CD60 CE? Well, that's easy enough. I own a Fender CD60. I think that's the best affordable guitar, them in Washburn, for CD60 SE, $300 with a case, $100 case. And I have the 60 without CE, so $200 with a hard shell case. That, I think the Washburns for the sub $300 price range are fantastic guitars. That's why I own one. I use it and I beat it up. I love it. Sounds great. So, best custom guitar under $1,000. Show and Blues. That's what we're waiting for. We did that. I did that video. I'm curious to see what happens. We ended up, the winner was Wheels Easy Guitar. We're just waiting for the guitar. And then I kind of, I was hoping to be here by now because I wanted to do a cool thing with it. So you guys will see what I do when I get it. We're going to be doing a cool, a really cool thing with it. Well, I always try to be nicer. I always try to tell the live guys, you guys, more stuff than everybody else because, you guys are watching live. So I'll just tell you. So the Wheels Easy Guitar, when it gets here, I'm going to do a review of it and then we're going to give it away. I'm going to give it away. That was my intent when I got it. So we're going to do a giveaway for it. Mayon's guitars, same as Mustard guitars. I don't know what Mustard guitars is. I know what Mayon's guitars are. And thank you guys so much. Let's see if there's anything else. I know it's the end, but Quentin wants to say thanks. He likes the channel and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Sell. Thoughts on top wrapping your Les Paul. Oh, okay. We'll end with that one. That's where you wrap the strings over. Where I did. Yeah. I don't get it. I raised the post, but everybody does it. Just this week alone, when I was looking at guitars, there was 3 guitars that came in that way, wrapped over. So it's just something people do. I if it works for you, do it. Me, I don't do it because I don't want to scratch up the top piece of that plate, and I'll just raise my post high. So. And it says, and then Aaron says, your feelings on Blackstar HD series. Well, no doubt I'm a fan of those because I have the 1 watt. I like it. It's a really good amp. You can't beat most of those stuff. So they're definitely cool. So yeah, I like them. All right, guys. Well, happy holidays to you guys. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you guys for asking the questions and spending time with me. It's a big deal. 256 of you was great. I know it was kind of dodgy today. We started an hour late. And if you want to watch more, check out Johnny Bean. And those guys are on the air. So go check them out right now. I went a little over, so I don't want to cut into anything more than I am already. All right, guys. Thank you so much. As always, thank you for your time and know your gear.